That was great.
That's perfect. Oh, well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Things That Matter with Marty McNabb. Me, imagine such a thing. So, a little bit about me. I am a personal historian and visual artist, or what I've been calling a legacy artist. And I have been working with my clients' photo, document, and memorabilia archives, creating visual narratives that tell the stories of their lives for over 25 years. I've had the honor and pleasure of this, and needless to say, you can tell I love hearing the stories of the things that matter, the stories that get attached to our photos and our things have delighted me and the other people who've joined me at my live virtual and in-person show and tell events. So today I am delighted to have my new friend, I would call him that, who I just met about a month ago in a wonderful, wonderful program that I've been a part of. And I have heard about he and another member of our community hosting a wonderful event coming up, a very healing, important healing work that they both do. And it's coming up this Sunday, August 28th, on my mother's birthday. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I want all my listeners to consider joining Carin and Craig for that event on Sunday. So, but without further ado, I want to invite Craig to take the stage, so to speak, and do his show and tell. Welcome, Craig. Thank you so much for being an early guest on my show.
Oh, thank you, Marty. I'm delighted that you asked me, and I'm delighted to be here. And I think we're on the other side. We're very far apart. I'm on the Pacific coast in Canada, in Vancouver, and you're way over in the east, aren't you?
Yes, right now I'm in Vermont. So yes.
Yes. I've been to Vermont briefly. I drove through it once.
Well, I've never been out quite your way, but I hope to someday.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to come sometime. So shall I share my picture now?
I absolutely would love
Okay.
to have you share your picture there. Did I allow for that?
Not yet.
Okay. Multiple, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
And
oops, you're sharing your own screen right now,
I
think.
know, I don't want to do that. I am so sorry. Stop share. Okay. So did I do that? There.
I've got it now. I can see
All
it.
right. Little technical difficulties.
This is a picture of the underside of a grand piano. And this grand piano has been in my life since I'm not quite sure what year my mom bought it. I think I was 7 or 8. And I still remember the day when I came home from school and I walked in the front door, and there was my mom sitting at this brand new grand piano. We had never had a grand piano. We had upright grand pianos. And that piano has been such an important piece of my life. Here I am at 60, and it's been in my life one way or another all these years. Now, there's a reason why I'm showing you the underside of the piano, because one of the things that I used to do, because my mom was a very fine pianist, she loved playing Chopin and Schubert and loved classical music. But every once in a while as a child, I would crawl under the piano when my mom was playing. And it's a magical space to be under a piano when it's playing, because all these sounds are surrounding you. It's kind of like, so many of us as kids, we made forts. Like we had upend tables and we get the blankets out and we create these little secret forts. It's kind of like a ready-made fort. So I would lie under there as my mom played, and it was a lovely thing. And I didn't do it all the time. I just did it once in a while. And then, I hit my teens, and it's something that just faded away. It stopped happening. So that's we're going to pause that story because it becomes significant again many years later. But another story around my piano came into being when I hit my teens. I was one of those unfortunate teens that got bullied when I went into high school. And I didn't know what to do. I was just at my wit's end what to do. I couldn't talk back. Fighting didn't seem like an option. And the thing about being bullied, really, that's worse, is the humiliation and the embarrassment that goes with it. So I hid it. Even though I had a lovely, loving family to go back to, I didn't tell anyone in my family. I didn't want anyone to know. And at that time, it just so happens that my piano teacher gave me a new piece of music to learn, and it was a Chopin nocturne. And it was sad and it was slow and it had so many different emotions in it. And in playing that piece, I found this healing solace. I could express everything I was going through in that piece in a way that was safe without ridicule. And in fact, it garnered applause. So it really, it's a dramatic statement to make, but that piano saved my life at a time where I was really like, I didn't want to go to school. It was like I was terrified. And I just immersed myself in that Chopin piano piece. And at the end of the year, my piano teacher would have this large, elaborate piano recital. She had a lot of students. She had this big Baroque house with a grand piano. And I played that piece and I moved people. And that's when I learned it wasn't just for me, but it was healing for other people too. So I continued on with music. My heart was stolen, and I got a music degree at the University of British Columbia. And then I got a music degree with the Royal Conservatory of Music, piano performance. And I came to the end and I didn't know what to do with my life. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with music, as important it was to me. And I kind of had this period of 15 years where I was still playing, but it was just kind of in the background. And then I went back to music and I started a duo with Howard. He was a clarinetist. And he phoned me up one day and said, Craig, I was walking down Broadway and there's this new piano store opening and it sells these new Fazioli pianos that you were telling me about, these amazing Italian pianos. I had dreamt of playing one, but they were like rare and not for sale anywhere in this area. So I was in the store like a flash. So now we're coming back to the first story again. So I'm in the store and I'm playing these pianos. And at one point, there was one other pianist in there who I didn't know playing their big 9-foot Fazioli concert grand. And I'm looking across the room. And suddenly I remember being that child crawling under the piano. I still don't know why. I was kind of being playful, right? I was just goofing around. So I walked over to him as he's playing. He says, just keep on playing. I'm going to crawl under the piano. And so he's playing away and I crawl into the piano and it's a 9-foot concert grand. So I could lie lengthways underneath it. And I'm lying there and I'm remembering my childhood and how great that was. And then I'm feeling the sound though, like my whole body. I tell you, it's like getting a sound bath lying under a piano. And it was just, I had forgotten how powerful that feeling was. So I went home and I kept thinking about it for like 2 or 3 weeks. I thought, I wonder what other people will think. So I had 3 friends over to my place, this place I'm in right now. And they each took a turn lying underneath my grand piano. And I played for like 10 minutes. I improvised. That's another thing that I do. I make music in the moment. And they were all, oh my goodness, this is not like listening to a piano from across the room. This is so amazing, like eyes bulging, amazing for them. And in the conversation that ensued, one of them said, you know what? I think you should do it as a business and you can call it Under the Piano. And that's when Under the Piano was born. And, I experimented. I tried it with a few people first, and everybody was just having this wonderful experience. So I started doing it. And, I've lost track of how many people I've done this for. I do it for individuals and I do it for couples. But there's another piece to it, and that is that all the music I create is spontaneously created. So they don't just come in and get on my piano and I play. They sit on my couch and they share stories about their lives, their passions, their interests. Some of them open up and share about what they're dealing with, you know, traumas and things that aren't going well in life. And then I also invite them to share, well, how would you like your life to be? What's an intention you'd like to create? So they share all that. And then I say they because often it's couples, it's individuals and couples. And so then they would get under the piano, and then I would sit down at the piano and I'd spontaneously create music for 40 to 45 minutes that is inspired by these stories they told me. And without hesitation, it's a wonderful experience for people. But then one day a woman arrived. I didn't know her. She was recommended. She was visiting from Toronto. And she sat on the couch there. And then she shared that in the last year she had lost her son to cancer. She had lost her husband to cancer. She turned to alcohol and became an alcoholic. Her life was a mess and she was just bereft. So I'm not a therapist, so I don't do anything. I just listen, right? So she lay under the piano and I played, and it was shocking. It was cathartic for her. And that's when I discovered music can get to things that words alone sometimes can't. She came out transformed. So this thing about grief has really emerged as the most fulfilling thing I do with these experiences. And I do them online. I do them in person. I do them in groups now. And now I'm collaborating with people as well. So we kind of come through this journey and how I ended up working with Carin.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Yes, I the word transformational or transformative kept on coming up when I was listening to your story, Craig, and
Yeah.
you know how healing it is. It was for you, and it is for the people who benefit from your work, and now collaborating with Carin. So
Yes.
yeah, so that is amazing, and I would invite you. That is our one of the things we were going to do today, and that's why I wanted to get you on early and before September 4th, and get you on early is because I want to put out to the world about this wonderful transformational gathering that you and Carin are hosting this coming
Yes.
Sunday. So you had mentioned that you have a flyer and that you could share
I
that.
do. I do.
And
Yeah.
then I thought, while what we could do while the flyer is up, because you don't want to just throw it up there for a second
Yeah.
so people can't see it. So it's up there for a while. Please go ahead and maybe add a little music in the
Sure.
some
Yeah.
background music for a
Yeah.
couple of minutes, and and before we close out our time together. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. And I'm going to play something very soothing and gentle. It just so happens I have a dear cousin who went through a major surgery yesterday, the day before yesterday, and it went well, but she's going to be in hospital for a week healing. It was like a 9-hour surgery.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I'm going to create something like that, which often
Right.
is people who are grieving, want healing. So that's what will be.
Wonderful.
So I'll
Wonderful.
bring that, I'll post that up. I'll say just a little bit about Carin and then I'll start the music.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
please do. I don't know as much about Carin other than she is a death doula. And
Yes,
yes.
exactly. She is a death doula. And a death doula is a person who prepares people for end of life, them and their loved ones. so that is an experience that is healing and nurturing and offers completion. And, you know, we don't deal with this very well in our society.
So true.
And I think death doulas are becoming, they're also called end of life doulas, are becoming something that's arising.
Yes.
So I was just so
Thankfully.
delighted to meet Carin. So in this event that we're doing together, Carin facilitates the conversation. Like, she has expertise there. That is wonderful. And I get to just listen. I don't need to worry about anything. I just listen to the stories that people shared about loved ones they've lost. And then I, based on what they share and a little feedback I get from them, I then create a piece for each person after they share their story.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I will make a little music. I just need to turn off my voice mic for this. So give me a
Oh,
second.
okay. Thank you, Craig. I look forward to this. Yes. Oh, Craig, thank you so much. My goodness. And you had talked about sometimes you have that inner inspiration and know the timing. Like, I was just
Oh.
perfect, absolutely perfect timing, Craig. So
Oh, good.
I am so delighted to be connected with you and Carin. Sadly, 6 o'clock at night, I will be at dinner celebrating my mother's birthday
Yes,
this
yes,
Sunday, but I hope to attend some other of your and Carin's offerings as it goes
yes.
on. As you know, we've spoken of, I have been so grateful for the fact that for some bizarre, weird reason, over the last 6 years, half a dozen years, I have gathered together and my community has been expanded and informed and uplifted through the work of last responders.
Mm,
We talked a lot about first responders, but last responders are as critical as far as I'm concerned. I'm so grateful. Like you said, I think that culturally things are shifting here in the United States and in North America. in the more
Yeah.
acceptance, and I'm so grateful for that. And I need to connect you with my friends at Let's Reimagine for sure, because the work that you
Yes,
do.
I think you did send me the Facebook group, which I think that's what you sent me, and I did join it.
Oh, good.
But
Oh, good.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're looking for collaborators. They have an event coming up this fall. And it's like a month-long event. And they're looking for people like you and Carin to
Hmm.
basically
Hmm.
create events, and they'll promote it within their death positive life embracing communities. So please
Yeah.
consider that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
So
you for that. Yeah.
yeah, well, thank you. And again, I wish you and Carin the best there. And so for everyone, thank you again, Craig, for joining me, being an early adopter, an early guest on Things That Matter with Marty McNabb.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think there may be one thing we've got to say. This is an online event.
oh,
So it
oh,
doesn't matter where you are.
oh,
And
yes.
we have a maximum of 10 people. We keep it intimate. You know,
Oh,
we don't want more than 10 people there. So just so,
wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, fantastic, wonderful. And I know that I am going to share the link the link to the event
Beautiful. Yes.
in this
Thank you. Yeah.
podcast and my YouTube and also podcast. So I appreciate that. And so thanks again for joining me. Again, my name is Marty McNabb. I'm a personal historian and visual storyteller. I host monthly virtual events and some in-person ones, but the virtual ones for sure. My next one, as a matter of fact, is September 11th, and the theme is past and present. What are the things
Mm.
that you hold on to that tell the stories of a loved one who has passed away? So it's perfect timing for this. It is, I
Yes.
believe,
Yeah.
in the afternoon. I will post that in the show notes as well. And I also want to invite people, if you would like, obviously with Craig, if you'd like to hire people to come in and do transformational work like Craig does, or like I do with Show and Tales, where I can come in and host your family reunion or your college reunion or your friendship circle that hasn't been together, or for that matter, a bridal shower or a baby shower. Consider hiring some unique and quirky and different types of things and activities and experiences like ours, which brings me to the
Yes.
third offering, which is something that I've worked on in the group with Craig in the Wealth and Impact Bootcamp. Is I came up with my target market for my online community, and their names, I refer to them, their avatar, are weirdos. And I thought you might like it. You know, you talked about being different and
Yes.
small and getting bullied. Oh, you know, but you look at where you are now. But my
Yeah.
community is made up. It's the weirdo stands for where every individual remembers doing original stuff.
I
And
love that.
and needless to say, Craig and Carin and I, and a lot of people on my podcast so far and into the future, into the show, are all going to be a little bit weirdos. So I hope you, I thought you might like that, Craig. So thank you for
Yes, I do.
your automatic response. I think that many of us are in the Wealth and Impact Boot Camp too. So
Yes.
we're unique, different. What are they called? Outsider or outliers that don't quite fit in, but we do have a community, and I hope
Yeah.
that we will all part of one another's community. So thanks
Yes.
again. I really appreciate it. And and I see that Craig has a Patreon as well.
I do, yes.
So we
Just look
are
up Craig Addy and you'll find it.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Well, I
true.
am going to put all of this stuff into the show notes, and that's great having it on your screen.
Yeah.
And I love your logo as well under. And I was
Thank you.
thinking your music is so transformative across the computer without even lying underneath. But
Yeah.
the idea of doing that, and so the next time I'm in your neck of the woods, I'm coming over and I'm getting under your computers. I mean, under your piano.
At least you didn't say under the table. That's the one
Under
that
the
people keep on
table.
saying. Under the table, under the table. So it's kind of shady, you know. Pay me and we won't say anything.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for ending us with such humor and such generosity and goodness, and love, love, love your offer in the world. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Thank you, Marty.
You have a great day. Thank you
You
so
too.
much.